Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get into my trades for my team and also the alternates there, and decided to make one trade this week, and that was on the back of holding Turpin last week and him not doing so well. I think it's just time to move him on. Even if he's getting that 55, 58 minutes, he's going to start to lose a lot of the gains that we got from him, and that's definitely not what we want, because he was really good for us at the start of the season. So Turpin comes out, and I've decided to bring in a fullback this week, and that was partly because Pap is out and Hampton. So I decided to trade Terps for Adam Dewey, and I feel like this is the safest option there. I could go for guys like Edwards and stuff like that, but if you can pick up a half that's pretty much the dominant half in a team, Tigers aren't doing as well as you would have hoped. I suppose there's probably some more upside there if they start to play a lot better. Then he's going to kick some more goals. Obviously, he's the goal kicker as well, which is helpful. So dual position in there as well. If I ever need a half, obviously I've got plenty of those, but across the season that might come in handy at some point. I've just decided to bring him in as that player there. Obviously Hampton's going to be out for a while. Looks like at a minimum 4 weeks, but very likely it could be a few months, to 2 to 3 months there with his pec injury. We know how bad those ones are. So Pap coming back, you'd imagine next week, gives me some cover in the wing fullbacks, which is good. I don't have cover in the centres right now, but I suppose we're just going to have to roll with the punches on that one, and possibly wait for a better option. It'd be nice to see what happens with guys like Zaxini, if they can hold their spot down, and if that's the case, then and I have to pick up a center, and if he's doing really well, even if he gets a 40 this week, he'll probably only gain 30 to 40k, up near like 300, and we can cop that for a cheap center if I need to, for example. But yeah, just gonna roll with that at the moment, and I have the wing fullback cover, but not the centers. And if we're looking at the rest of the squad there, I'm really happy with the starters that I have here. I'll just have a look at my bench, and I feel like there's a little bit of an issue right now. Obviously, once Pap comes back, I'll have a slightly stronger squad, and I can play even I can just leave him on the bench, or play a Laurie or something like that over maybe a Simpkin or a Stefano, and I'm kind of holding those guys at the moment. Utui Kamanu, Alvaro, and Lainu, and these are guys I've been speaking about that will be good to hold in round 13 if you're playing for overall. But you can also trade them if you're someone that has a fair bit of cash in the bank, or you've downgraded someone else and you've got a lot of cash there. Then if you can get an Alvaro to a Papali'i or a TPJ or McCulloch, you can get them to whatever kind of play you're looking for there. Lucy, Barnett, Clemmer, all these types of guys. Then I think it's a really good option. And don't I've been saying to try and hold on to them, but that's more the fact that I don't want you trading them sideways for a guy that's not going to play Origin and won't do much better, or will probably hold their price and not be a great cash cow or something like that. There's not a lot of good cashies at the moment, so I just feel like you can leave them there. If they make it all the way to 13, then great, and if they don't, then that's completely fine. But I'd suggest either trading them to a really good cash cow, which aren't really any this week, or you're going right up to a gun. So that's kind of my thoughts with that. And at the moment, they're just going to be as a placeholder on my side. And this week, I'm going to have to play 2 of them, Simpkin and Stefano. And hopefully Simpkin can score a little bit better and maybe run the ball a little bit more. Would be nice. They come up against the Gold Coast, so maybe there's a few more attacking stats with the Titans games being a lot more high scoring. So that might mean Stefano gets a few extra tackle buster offloads or something like that. So I'm deciding to play him, I believe, over all these other guys. And when does the bloody Cowboys play? That's going to be the question. If I'm going to loop, Cowboys are a bit later in the week, so I could do what have we got there. Dragons are at the end, which doesn't help. Tigers are before the Cowboys game. So if I wanted to, I could have Stefano in my number 5, or Simpkin in my number 5 jersey, which I think is going to be the smartest, and that's how I could do the loop, guys. So if anyone that keeps asking me how to do the loop, you need one of your non-players. So Hampton is a non-player. He plays later in the round than the Tigers do, right? So I put Simpkin or Stefano in number 5. If they score well, I leave him. I obviously can't move him from the 5 position, but I put Hampton into number 4, for example. When Hampton doesn't play, I then get Stefano or Simpkin score, whichever one I've decided to put in 5. So that's something I can do this week, and I think that's probably the smartest option, is to chuck one of them in there. Hopefully I pick the right one to pop in there, and if they don't score that well, I can move Alvaro up, for example, or Spencer, or whatever it is there, with Alvaro playing in the latest round of the week. So something to think about in terms of the loop. But yeah, I'm not too happy with how the bench is set up. Obviously, when Pap comes back, I'll take out one of them. But these are kind of the guys I'm looking to upgrade at some point. And these guys might not make it to round 13. If my team continues to do well, then I've got a bunch of guys making money, and I can use Welsh as an upgrade or downgrade target there. It could be Welsh up and Alvaro down, for example. That could be a really cool option coming into round 13 if I wanted to target if TPJ or Barnett or these kind of guys keep doing well, then I could do a quick switch there for that type of player. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on how my team's set up. I'm really happy with the trades left. So one trade this week leaves me with 24, which is awesome, and should mean that I'll be able to trade pretty heavy through the buy period and leave myself with a good amount of trades come like round 18. So if we think about it now, if this is round 9, so from 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is 8 rounds, right? Then I have, approximately, what are we going to say? Almost two trades around that would get me down to 8. And then I'd obviously like to make a bunch from round 17 to fill out the best side that I can from like 18, 19, 20. So if I have somewhere between 8, I think 10 would be really nice coming into round 18. You could use probably 3 to 4, 5 trades to get your gun 17 over the next few weeks, and then leave that last 5 for the last sort of 6 rounds there to obviously pick up someone that's doing incredibly well out of nowhere. If there's a big injury or something, I can trade guys out. So having 24 trades coming into round 10, I think is going to be really, really cool. A lot of people are sitting there with 20, 18, 19, and I think you're going to come up short over the next, getting closer to round 18 there when you're going to need some extra trades. I think that's when you're going to come up short. So if the next few weeks you can bank a trade or two, I think that's a really smart option. But there you go. That's my team currently, and the alternates I've done something a little bit different, which is actually traded out Momorowski, which a lot of you guys might think is interesting. The other thing to worry about is the chances of Burton actually keeping that spot and Mom not playing or something like that. So I've thought about that, and I was like, I would like to upgrade my halves. I've been talking up Kurt Mann this whole time, so I really want to put him in the side. So it's been a Mom straight to Kurt Mann. I would have done Stefano to Kurt, but I was about 9K short, unfortunately. So is what it is on that one, and decided to move Mom on this week. Yes, I held him for 2 weeks and then traded him out the third, but this is the alternates, right? This is the things that you wanted to do but wouldn't do. And the second alternative is to trade out Pap, for example, but with 80k remaining, that means I have 930k, and there's no one really up there that I want to bring in. Like Papali'i would be nice, but I just think he's a bit too expensive now at 850. Haas, if I was playing head to head, I could go Tohu, but he doesn't play 13. There's a few things I can do, but then it's like, just hold him for one more week. And yeah, as I said, in the alternates, this is the one where I'm just making those outlandish moves and just going for it. So that would help me this week with my scoring, but does it help me long term? I'm not exactly sure. So I think holding him for one more week to then get his output across the next bunch of weeks is good. And considering I have a fair bit of cover in my centres and wing fullback, I could trade him out if I wanted to. But if you look at my bench this week, it's really strong compared to my main team. Brayley, Walker, Teddy, and Mann, really strong. But in this one, I'm holding a Twal, which would be even with Welch in my team, but then Curran over Tohu Harris, right? So a lot cheaper there, for example, but obviously a little bit more money up in the hooker position, and pretty strong down below in the wing fullbacks, but obviously in the halves is partly where the issue is. And now I've got Kurt Mann and Moses as my two sort of gun halves, and then Walker and Schuster is plenty. So obviously missing out on Cleary, which is an extra 500-600k that we don't have in this team. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I just thought in the alternates, I had to pull the trigger on Mann, didn't I? Because I've talked him up massively this week, and I think he's going to be a mid-50 scorer, and you'll see him up closer to a 700k mark over the next sort of month or so, and should be able to play well through 13. And then if we don't think, once Pearce comes back, Green's back firing, I think you can possibly move Mann on closer to round 17, which I think is a really good span of time that I can hold someone like Kurt to do well for the alternates. And yeah, so the balance of this squad looks a lot better at this stage, but you're then missing out on your awesome captaincy option in Cleary. Obviously, Fafita's kind of done a decent job for us until last week with 48, but yeah, that's where we're at. I'm really liking the center pairing, the Rapana Brian To'o as wing fullbacks there with Teddy still hanging on. So there's a lot of cool things in this squad. But we'll see how we go from here on. Obviously, not ranked anywhere near as well as the main team, being 830 compared to 5,116. So 24 trades remaining as well. Really happy with that. 80k in the bank. And that's all, guys. If you're enjoying these, please like and subscribe. We'll jump into the next video, which will be our people squad and the trade. I'm thinking one trade in the people squad for this week, but we'll see how we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Good luck with your trades for the rest of the week. We'll catch you in the next one. See you, team.